Shalom, Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheraton in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time, sending curses to them enemies.
All right, Mike. Like, you mind doing a mic check real quick? Where you at? Mike. Okay, most high Christ. All right, yeah, we are 12. All right, Shalom, Israel. With the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, out of Slovakia. Shalom, Israel. With the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. This is the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class. Let's go ahead and give it up for the Lord. Let's give it up for the Lord giving us back our culture. You know what I'm saying? Finally, after so long, our culture and our, you know what I'm saying, the truth about the Bible, the truth about who we are after so long of not knowing our identity. You know what I'm saying? The truth is back in the earth, man, since 1969. So let's give it up for the Lord for that, man. Again, it's the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class where we break down the scriptures from a linguistics perspective. You know what I'm saying? Get into the scriptures, getting into the holy tongue, the Hebrew, as it's known in the earth today, the Hebrew language. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into these scriptures and break it down and learn our language. And that's a huge part of taking our culture back. All right. So if you got any, 1 second, Slacky. If you got any Lashawan Qadash related questions, now's the time to put them in the chat. Or if you got any questions in the room, just raise your hand. We're going to get them answered. Any Lashawan Qadash related questions, this is the time for it, right? So also just make sure you got your pen, pencil, whatever you writing with, a notepad or whatever the case is, notebook. Make sure you got all your learning utensils, all right? Your pen, pencil, notebook. You got your sword with you. You got your Zondervan Bible Dictionary, your concordance with you. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Just let me go ahead and grab mine. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and make sure you got all your learning utensils and that you're ready as a professional for class, right? So that we can take our culture back. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. And if you got any questions on anything that you need or that you think you may need and you don't have or may not have, that's another question that would be wise to ask during this class. This is the Lashawan Qadash class. So if you got any Lashawan Qadash related questions, you should ask in this class. This is the opportunity for it. All right. So tonight, first we're going to start off with the Hebrew alphabet. You know what I'm saying? As we talked about last week, this is something that you should either know or be wise for you to already know. Or if you don't know, you should just practice it at home. Or practice it, just say it over and over to yourself, just like you did the, you know what I'm saying, the American or the English ABCs. when you was in kindergarten or preschool. Just did the ABC song over and over until you learn the cadence, and then you over time understood what the cadence meant. It was for a purpose, and then now you know all 26 of your oppressors' alphabet. So let's put that same diligence into the language that the Lord gave us. You know what I'm saying? It's only right because it belongs to us. So we should put 100 times more diligence as we did when we were trying to learn our oppressors' language. Some of us know some of us, a lot of us know two, three oppressors' language. And that took diligence and hard work and wanting, you know what I'm saying, to know these things. So how much more should we put diligence and hard work into learning our culture and our language? All right, so we're gonna start off with the Lashawan Qadash alphabet, right? So we got A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Cha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and Tha, right? So it's just something that you should be able to, it should be second nature to you. Like you should be off the top of the head. You should just know you should know our language and the characters that our language consists of. So that when you're reading in the Lashawan Qadash, then you don't have to, it'll be one less thing that you have to think about while you're trying to read our language. Right? Like when you're reading your oppressor's language, you don't have to try to decipher or fumble over what letters are and the sounds that they make. You don't have to think too hard because you put in the due diligence. But with this language, as long as you learning your culture's language and the characters that are in that language is going to help you not fumble so much as you're trying to learn or regain your culture. So if you don't know, then you should go back and put in that due diligence. And like we talked about last week, it's only gonna take a couple. It's only gonna take a little bit of repetition. It's only gonna take a little bit of repetition just to, if you don't know, just go home and just Abba Gada Hawa Zachata Yaka Lamanasa I Patazakwa Rashata and then start over. Just do it over and over again until it just rolls off the tongue. So that we can show the Lord that we serious about regaining our culture. Because if we don't give a damn about our culture, then who gonna give a damn? Who gonna give a damn more than Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans about our culture? You know what I'm saying? So let's get serious. Let's be professionals, and let's do what we got to do. 1 second, lock you. But tonight we're just gonna go over who the Jews are. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of, like, in the past couple weeks, past couple months, we've been hearing a lot of controversy that's been put in the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? It's been putting the Israelites in the forefront. You know what I'm saying? The fact that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true chosen people of the Most High, been putting it in the forefront. Right? You know what I'm saying? You got Kyrie Irving, you got Kanye West, Deshaun Jackson, you got Nick Cannon, Ice Cube, all saying the same thing, saying that the Jews are black and that this is our culture. And then as soon as they say these things, they on CNN, they on all these news channels, they getting scrutinized, getting their paper taken away from them. They getting they falling from You know what I'm saying? They getting suspended from their jobs, their careers, you know what I'm saying, losing millions of dollars overnight because they saying that the Jews are black, right? So the only thing that we could do at this point, right, is to do the research. So we're gonna do the research tonight. We're gonna get into the scriptures, which is all about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If you're in the ISUPK, you know it's a lot, dude. We know that if you in the ISUPK, you know that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true chosen people of the Most High. Right? It's common knowledge. But you know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters in the world, they need a little bit more convincing, right? So we know that the scriptures, the Bible is the word Holy Bible means separate record. So we know that the Holy Bible is only and can only be talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If you read it, if you just read it, if you just look at the words that's in the Bible, you'll understand that the Bible is talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right? One second. But some brothers and sisters don't understand it, so we just gonna get into the Bible and the scriptures so that we can further prove that. Right? Lock it. Baba Kasha, if you could, sir, if you don't mind just getting 2 Kings chapter 16, verse 6. We're gonna get into, so the thing that's going around in the media, like we just talked about, is the Jews are black, the Jews are black, the Jews are black, the Jews are black, right? But the thing that we don't understand as, you know what I'm saying, former Christians or former Christians and you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, that word Jew is only pertaining to, or the word Jew comes from a word that only pertains to one tribe. The word Jew, which that's how you know that your oppressor isn't the real Jew, because the word Jew only pertains to one tribe. And the question that never gets asked is what happens to the other 11 tribes, right? Because there's 12 tribes of Israel. So if you're claiming to be the true people from Israel and you're claiming to be a Jew, then where are the other 11 tribes? Right? So we're going to get into that tonight. And that's what we gotta understand. Like, that's one of the questions that we gotta ask just as a people. So like you. Right. So who are the Jews? So everybody like, yeah, the Jews are black, the Jews are black, the Jews are black. Not understanding that there are 11 more tribes according to the Bible. Right? And the Jews are black, of course, but there are several other tribes. But we got to understand what that word Jew means, because that word Jew does apply to all the tribes. And just to give a little background, the word Jew is a nickname. The word Jew is a nickname, like, that applies to all 12 tribes. And we're going to get into that tonight. We're going to just break it down straight from the scriptures. But that's something that your oppressor doesn't understand, which is why they call themselves the Jewish man. They call themselves the Jewish man, right? And alleviating the other 11 tribes and not even addressing it. That's how you know that that's not them. We gonna get right into it. And that's how you know that the Most High is so damn wise, man. So wise, man. Because these scriptures and these scriptures are not for everybody and all these other nations to understand, man. This is a book for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And because it's for us, the words that's in these scriptures, they talk like us. Like the slang that we use today, there's slang in the Bible. The nicknames that we use today, there's nicknames in the Bible, just like we use with one another. There's bywords in the Bible, just like your oppressor used with us today. But we just gonna get right into it. Baba Kasha, if you could just read that in the English, and then we gonna get into the Lashawan Qadash. It's just a little piece that I want to bring out. Go ahead.
This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 16, verse 6. At that time, Rezin, king of Syria, recovered Elam to Syria and drove the Jews from Elam.
And did what?
And drove the Jews.
And the drave who?
The Jews.
Right. So this is talking about how one nation of people drave, which is past tense of drive, so if you drive the people out, you're pushing them out, you're removing them or displacing them from where they were to a new location. So that's what this is talking about. Just like over time, repeatedly in history, a foreign nation or these heathen nations, they pushed our people out of where we were to a new location. This is another instance in the Bible. So it's saying the king of Syria recovered Elam to Syria and drave the Jews from Elam, right? Go ahead, read on.
And the Syrians came to Elam and dwell there until this day.
Right, and that's how you know that this Bible only pertains to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because what other people were driven out of their land or out of any land and displaced without any reparations or any comfort or any protest or any, you know what I'm saying? No, nothing. Like weren't given anything or any attention. Like hell, just the Middle Eastern, you know what I'm saying? They just moved over here. They were hanging off of the back of airplanes, just hanging onto the wings for dear life until inevitably they just flew off because of inertia, right? Just they just wasn't it wasn't they would rather die falling off the back of a plane trying to fly to America. You know what I'm saying? But when they flew over here, they were given stipends of $100,000 to start businesses, to go to school, to get housing, get food stamps, all of those things when they came over here. But at the same time, the Haitians tried to come over here and they were being whipped as they were crossing over the water, being whipped on their backs while Border Patrol was trying to keep them out. That's what happens to our people when we get driven out of our land. Whether it's war or poverty or sickness, famine, whatever it is, whatever drives us out of our land, we get scrutinized, we get punished and abused and turned away. And we don't get, if we just so happen to overcome all those things, which we do, if we don't just so happen to overcome all those things and make it over to a new land, then we get ostracized and we don't get no help from this nation, man. Meanwhile, these other nations come over here and they could just set up shop and get $100,000. You know what a black man could do with $100,000, man? We could do, man. We'll fill a whole household with $10, man. Just think of what we could do with $100,000, man. But they not gonna give that to us, man. And that's just like they don't give that to us today. They didn't give it to us. They didn't give it to us then, man. This Bible is ancient. This Bible is ancient, man. And just like they drive us out of our land, today they drove us out then, man. But we're gonna get into the Lashawan Qadash right fast, and we're gonna understand, because it said the Syrians, the king of Syria, drave the Jews, right? Because that's the whole topic, right? Drave the Jews, right? So we drave the Jews out of their land. So we're gonna get into what that word is in the Lashawan Qadash. So just real quick, in the Lashawan Qadash, we got.
we in 2 Kings 16:6.
Right, come. Yeah, I'm gonna start halfway. So it's about halfway. What is it? One, two, the third line. If you're looking on.
Oh, okay.
Are you looking? Okay, so we got. Oh, so right here. So we got Ayala, La Aram, Waya Nasha Athar, Haya Hawadayum, Ma'al Salakia, Ma'ayayum, or Salakia, Ma'ayal Wat Salakia. Right? So we're gonna break it down, right? So we got, let me get back to it. So we got, just real quick, I just want to just move through this right fast. So we got La, which means 2 or 4. So the scriptures say 4 Syria. So we got 4 Aram, which is the nation of Syria. Waya Nashal. So Waya means and it. The word Nashal, if you look into the concordance, if you look into the what is it, the Hebrew dictionary, Nashal means dry or to turn out, right? Just click on it. So like you. To draw off to or to clear away. Draw off. So the word in the scriptures is drave. So nashal means to draw off or to turn away or to clear away, right? Which is what's happening to the nation of Israel or the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're going to get into that. But thought, which means, Salakia, we'll get back to it. So atha means you, right? And then ha Yahawada right? It should be pretty easy to break down. You want to give it a shot, Priest? Ha Yahawada.
Oh, okay. So, Ha means the.
Right? So the Yahawada.
Yahawada means Jew.
Right. Or
Judah.
right. Judah.
Young.
Means
Plural.
right? So we know that the word Yahweh means Jew. You put yom at the end makes it plural, right? We know that Jew is short for Judah, but it's a nickname that was given to the nation of Israel. So Jew, like the priest said, because Judah is just, Jew comes from Judah, and that's just one tribe, but Jew comes from the word Judah. And it could either describe the entire nation of Israel, or it could just be talking about that one nation, Judah, depending on the context. But if you read in the scriptures, it says that the Jews were driven out of Syria, right? So Yahweh means Jews, right? And we're gonna get another example. I just want to bring that out just real quick, right? While I'm putting this next portion up, you mind just asking that question that you had at the beginning of the class? I just want to bring that out on the live so that everybody watching, or you know what I'm saying, everybody who will go back and watch this class can understand. Okay. Let me see if I can remember. It was hot a lot. It's in your notes because I saw it. But
Oh yeah. Now the question I asked was, I see it now, but for teaching purposes, like ha, Allah. The question I had that so you got two A's. Do you just leave one A out?
so what's the word that you looking at?
That was Esther 2:1. So it's the word is, well, it's okay. So this is the characters ha, la, ha.
All right, no sweat. So you got ha. Let me see. If y'all online, if y'all having a hard time seeing what's going on the board, just put it in the chat and I'll make the adjustment for you. All right. So like it 1 second. So you said ha, la, la, ha.
Slightly. It's ha, la.
Okay. Ha, la,
Ha.
ha. All right. So with the Lashawan Qadash, right? So I'm gonna write it in the phonetic English. So if you could, Baba Kashad, just look up phonetic. If you got a microphone on your phone, just say phonetic in Google and see what that pull up. Just when you get there, just read that definition, Baba Kashad.
Phonetic.
All right.
The definition of phonetic, relating to speech sound.
Read that again.
Relating to speech sound.
Relating to speech sound. So if we get this, and this is why it's so important to have these tools, right? Where we at? I keep making your bag my bag. So if you got the Hebrew workbook and textbook, which is right here, this is what it looks like. It's only a couple dollars. If you get on Amazon, you get it for about $5. If you're willing to wait, about $15 if you know what I'm saying, impatient like me. But this is what the book look like. It's biblical Hebrew, a text and workbook, right? So if you get this book and turn to page 3, all right, you gotta go past all the content, the table of contents and all of that, the preface and If you go to page 3, it says the Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today. Our own alphabet is a descendant of it by a circuitous route, right? So your oppressor took your alphabet and turned it into something else. Long story short, the text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development. Originally, only the consonants were used. So even though, so in the Hebrew alphabet, you got Abba, Gada, Hawaza, Chata, Yaka, Lama, Nasa, I, Pataza, Kwa, Rashata. What you hear in common is that ah sound. And because we've been indoctrinated by the English vocabulary, we perceive that sound ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za as vowel sounds. But the ancient Hebrew, the old past, right? The ancient Hebrew is the oldest language. And it had no vowels. So every character that you see in the Lashawan Qadash, Abba, Gada, Hawaza, even ah and I, which we perceive to be vowels, those are consonants. Right? So when we write it out, like, so this word right here, let me just go to it right. Let me see. Let me get there with you. Lucky. Let me get there real fast. You said Esther 5-1, or Esther 1 and what was it? 2-1. Lucky. Esther 2-1. All right. So if you click on that concordance code, Allah means these, right?
Right.
Right. So this phrase right here, Ha Allah, right? Just for phonetic purposes. And read that definition again, Baba Shah, if you don't mind.
Relating to speech sounds.
Speech sounds, right? So just for phonetic purposes, because when we say the Lashawan Qadash, we say Abba, Ga, Da. So when we write this out, Ha, Ah, La, and then the Ha is the Ha is pronounced with the La. Ha, La, Ah, right? So normally we would have a Ah at the end, but it's pronounced with the La, right? This is how you will write it down phonetically. So when you see these things, when you see ah, ba, ga, da, right? That's just the written sound of what the word or what the character makes. Like what sound? Just take a. So you got the letter. You got the letter P. Take the letter P, for example. So this is how you write a letter P in the English, right? Let me know if y'all can see this online. So you got the letter P, right? What sound does the letter P make?
Puh.
Puh. So what you're saying is puh, right? So when we write in the Lashawan Qadash, this isn't a P. This isn't an English P. But this is the sound that the P makes, right? When you're writing in English, all you see is this character, right? The letter P, and you know that this character makes a certain sound. This character P makes the puh sound. So when you see it in a word, you automatically make that sound. It's the same with the Lashawan Qadash. The problem is we have a hard time seeing it because we've been speaking English so long, so it's just taboo to us. So just like this character right here, this is a ha. This is not how you spell ha. We write that just so we can understand the phonetics of it, the sound of the word. Read that again, Baba Kashai.
Relating to speech and sounds.
Relating to speech and sound. So this is just the phonetics so that you can understand the sound of a character when you speak it. But that's not, we have to get out of thinking that this is how you spell. There's no way to spell. How do you spell the letter P? How do you spell the letter B? There's no way to spell it. It's just the sound that the word makes or the character makes. B goes buh. C goes cuh. P goes puh. Just like that, just like we understand those, and that's not taboo to us, the character ha goes, it just, the sound is ha. The name of the character is the sound. Right? So when we see this together, or these things side by side, ha, the character ha says what sound? Is what sound?
Ha.
Right? The character ah says what sound?
Ah.
The character la says what sound?
La.
Right? And then the last character usually is pronounced with the last character. So we drop that ah sound at the end, which is why I got this at the end in parentheses. So you just pronounce each word or each sound individually. So ha, ah, la. And then the last two characters, you pronounce it together. So this is how you write it down phonetically, but this is just for visual purpose. This is just for visual purpose. But to make it simple, it just, the words, we have to just move beyond this right here. The ha, ah, like the having to figure out how to spell it in the English. This is just the phonetics. This is just like when you read in the dictionary and you see a word and it's like in parentheses, it's telling you how to pronounce it. That's just what this is. So this isn't how you spell it. This is just the dramatic sounding out of the characters. But it's just ha, ah, la. So when you see like, okay, so the ha, phonetically, the ah sound comes at the end. So you got at the end. And then with the ah sound comes at the beginning when you write it down. Right? You just pronounce the sound. Like these are just sounds. So you just pronounce it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
So you got ha, ah. It's just that simple. Ha, ah, la. Right. So anytime you see a ah, you just pronounce it like a ah. So like in no, la, ah, you just pronounce it. Like ra to za, or like or in another character that does that, or like may trip brothers up, is I. Like, let me think of a word with the character I in it. So like in the Lord's Prayer, you got la, I, walum, right? Or yum, so like. La I walumium. All right. It's the same thing, just like the ha, la. The same way you pronounce that, you'll say la, I, wa, lum, because this is a root word, which means forever. I will lum means forever or everlasting. So you just pronounce it together. La, I, wa, lum, and then yum. But as long as you understand the sound that a character makes, then you just pronounce it in that, you just pronounce it the way that you know that it's pronounced. The I makes an I sound. It's still a consonant according to the ancient Hebrew, but it makes the I sound. The ah makes the ah sound. The ha makes the ha sound, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay, most time correct. But what we want to try to avoid doing is just like heathenizing our language. Like we got to remember that this is a separate language. So as we learning this language, we can't learn it from a heathen perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like we already, you know what I'm saying? We already know that learning the heathen language, like learning English, it's one of the hardest languages to learn. If you ask anybody, you ask a Frenchman, a Englishman from British, from England, or Spaniard, a Hispanic. You ask anybody, they're gonna tell you like, look, this language don't make no damn sense. Because 1 second the A makes this sound, and then another second it makes this sound. You got the you know what I'm saying? You got some words. If you're saying some letters are silent and some are not silent in this case, and then you got some letters make this sound in this case, and other instances that make this sound. Like the English language is complicated because they culture vultures. They don't have a culture. So the only hope that they have for a culture is to steal your culture and bastardize it. So they culture is a mixture, it's a melting pot of a whole bunch of different cultures that they stole from. But the Lord's language is just real simple. It's just the Lord is not an author of confusion. So our language is very simple. All right, so we're gonna get right back to it, right? So we're gonna get to, let me see. Okay. All right, Baba Kashai, you mind grabbing Esther chapter 2, verse 5. All right. We're gonna understand, we're gonna get the proof that this word Jew is just a word that's used to describe our people, right? It comes from the word Yahweh, like we just found. And while he getting that, let me get this real quick. Let me get this. Let me grab this. So if you go to Concordance Code 3064, we're gonna get into it actually. Let me make sure I got it. You got that, priest? And we gonna get write it up. I'm gonna write it up here as you reading that.
The book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 5. Now in Shushan, the place where it's like the place, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimi, the son of Cush, a Benjamite.
Right. So read that from the top one more time, Baba Qadash. Salaki.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 5. Now in Shushan, the place, there was a certain Jew.
So it says in that land there was a certain Jew, right? So this is describing a so-called Jew, right? It says a certain Jew. Now we're gonna go through his lineage in this scripture. Go ahead, read on.
Whose name was Mordecai.
So this is talking about Mordecai, right? So this is the adoptive father of Esther, right? Go ahead, read on.
The son of Jair.
Uh-huh.
The son of Shimei.
Right.
Shammai.
Right.
The son of Cush, a Benjamite.
A who?
A Benjamite.
A who?
A Benjamite.
So Mordecai, who this is talking about, was a Benjamite because his lineage, the son of a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shammai, the son of Kish, a Benjamite. That's what the scripture is saying. So if Jew, the word for Jew is, and this is the word that you'll see, right? Yah-ha-wah-da-yah. Right? All right, so if you read this scripture, it says Jew, a certain Jew, but he's a Benjamite. So if the word Jew only pertains to so-called Judah, or Judah is short for Judah, or it only pertains to Judites, then why is this scripture calling a Benjamite a Jew? Because that word pertains, it's a nickname that was given to all of the 12 tribes. It's a word that can be used to describe all 12 tribes. Let me see. Because as you see in the scripture, like this man is a Benjamite. This man is a Benjamite. As you go through his lineage, as it says right here in Esther chapter 2, verse 5, he is a Benjamite. But this word is still being used. And this word is Yahawadiah. Right? And if you go into the concordance, or if you click on it, you could, you know what I'm saying, if you read it from the Bible Hub, it'll say Concordance Code 3064. Right? So it'll say Yahawadiah, which is of the Jews or pertaining to the Jews, right? But if you go to the dictionary, it'll refer you to, because the root word is here. And this is the same root word that you saw in 2 Kings. So Yahawah, Yahawah, right? This is Concordance Code 3061. It's like, what was that? Oh, most first. Well, they come in? Okay, no sweat. But this is Concordance Code, or this will, if you click on that, or if you go into the dictionary, right, it'll refer you to Concordance Code 3061, which will tell you the definition is Judah, Jewry, right? Which means of the Jews or Judea, right? This is talking about the whole. This is talking about the same family. This is talking about the same family. This is how you know that this word Yahweh pertains to the entire family of Israel, because you see here that a Benjamite, according to the lineage, is still described and regarded as a Jew. And you'll see in this chapter that even though this is a Benjamite, and this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is what we got Purim coming up. This is what Purim is all about, because Haman, a heathen, he wanted to destroy and kill off our entire nation from the Persian territory, which was run by Ahasuerus, right? From King Ahasuerus. And he wanted to kill all of us. And he ain't give a damn that this brother was a Benjamite. He regarded everybody who was of the 12 tribes of Israel as Jews. So if you was in that land and you was of the 12 tribes, he was killing you. That was his whole agenda. That was the whole point. So even though like we have these qualms with one another, where we want to have tribalism and we want to have colorism amongst one another. Your oppressor don't give a damn whether you are so-called Jamaican, which is a Benjamite, or a so-called Judite, which is a black so-called African American. He don't care if you're a so-called Issacharite, which is a so-called Mexican. He don't give a damn what tribe you from. You are a Jew to him. Just like today, you are that the byword that they like to use for us today. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be careful in what I say so we don't get banned. But they don't give a damn how light skinned, how dark skinned you are, what you speak, whether you speak Spanish, English, Patois, Creole, or whatever the case is. You still what Jay-Z still say? He say you still nigga. That's who you is, man. But this word Jew, when it says like in what was that in when Paul said neither Greek nor Jew, neither bond nor free, he was talking about us, man. That's that word Greek means it's talking about us, because that's the culture that we decided to put on. Let me see. Let me get and that's how you that's why the Most High is so damn that's why the Most High is so damn wise, and that's why this brother Mordecai, like the play that he put in place in this moment, because these oppressors is finna kill us off, man. And just to give a little background, right? So in the book of Esther, right? So Vashti she had disobeyed the king by not coming when she was called, right? And that would look bad on all the men in the nation, right? So she had to be punished by taken out of her seat as queen. So Ahasuerus was looking for a new queen, right? So Mordecai sent Esther, right, to go and take that position so that she could have a position of power to change they condition, right? And she had ended up getting that position, right? Just a synopsis. And while, you know what I'm saying, Haman was trying to kill us, Haman was trying to take us out, right? Mordecai refused to bow to a heathen, right? So Haman wanted to just kill all the Jews. And even though Esther was a Jew and she was a queen at the time, and she was sitting right next to King Ahasuerus, Haman hated to see Mordecai working a gate. So he was like, man, look, let's get that real quick. What's that? Let me see. Lock you. You want to give me Esther chapter 5, verse, we'll start at 12. Let's see. Let me see. Verse 9. Just start at verse 9 and just read all the way through.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 5, verse 9. Then went Haman forth that day, joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him.
So he ain't bound to this. He ain't bound to the Jew. He ain't giving him no respect. You know what I'm saying? Because he a heathen. You know what I'm saying? He ain't our people. He ain't our people. He ain't nobody. Which is exactly, you know what I'm saying? Exactly, you know what I'm saying? We shouldn't give these heathens no damn respect. You know what I'm saying? They want to kill us. They want to ostracize us. They want to drive us out of the land. And you think you're gonna get some respect after that? After killing my people? You think you gonna get some special respect? You think I'm a coward to you? Man, hell no, man. That was the spirit of the Lord that was on that brother, man. Most High in Christ for that. What's like it? Go ahead, Bruno.
He was full of indignation against Mordecai.
Right, so he was mad at he was mad at Mordecai. Go ahead, read on. Salaki.
Verse 10. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself. And when he came home, he sent and called for his friends. And Zeresh, his wife.
There you go. Yeah. Keep on reading. We're gonna read down to 13.
Verse 11. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all the things wherein the king had promoted him.
Right. So he was sitting at the right hand of Ahasuerus, right? He was sitting at the right hand. That's why he was able to get in the position to be able to give the decree to kill the Jews, right? He was like, man, kill all these brothers, man. These Mordecai want to bow down to me, man. Kill all of them, man. All of them. But Esther was a Jew, according to these scriptures. She was a Jew. Go ahead, read on. So now it's like it. So now he boasting about his he boasting about how you know what I'm saying, his power, his pull, and his kingdom. But he about to reveal the pride and the envy and the what's the word? About to reveal the pride and the envy and the hatred that these people, that these heathens have for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Go ahead, read on.
And how he had advanced him above the prince and the servants of the king,